Joining us right now is Anoop Dawar. He's the Vice President of Products at MapR Technologies. He's also a speaker for the Big Data Analytics in Cloud. Anoop, thank you so much for joining us. The cloud market cap is going to increase to $500 billion by 2020. That is the estimation. Do you agree with that?
I think there is certainly room to grow, because if you look at the total IT market, it's over $1.7 trillion. And cloud is still at an infancy if you compare to that.
Now, in your panel, I know there's going to be a lot of talk about how things are going to scale and analytics. The biggest barrier, as we all understand, is security. And how do you manage that? Is that going to be something that you're going to bring up in your panel?
I think that's going to be one of the main points and hurdles of adoption of big data in cloud, along with global cloud processing. How do you do processing across various locations in cloud in a really fast and efficient manner? So there are big challenges, but also there are promising technologies coming on to tackle these challenges.
Now, critics say that the public cloud is almost towards the end of its realm. Is that true?
I think people used to say mainframes are done, but people still sell and work on mainframes. So I think public cloud is still way in its infancy. We are probably in innings 2 or 3 of a 9-inning game here.
Now, VMware is one of the largest cloud companies here, and there has been a lot of speculation about their strategy moving forward. As someone who works in this field, how would you describe their market and product strategy?
So, if you go back and look at how virtualization was brought in by VMware, it has been a massive enabler. I can't personally comment about VMware's strategy themselves, but I think there is room in this space for a lot of big players to grow.
In 2016, the coup de grace in cloud computing is considered enterprise cloud. Is that something you would agree with?
I think there is enterprise cloud, there's service provider cloud, there are consumer clouds, IoT clouds. It's going to be a whole new set of paradigms that are coming over the next 10 to 15 years in this industry.
That said, we all understand that Amazon is literally the largest market shareholder in this space. So even though there are all these various sectors within cloud computing, isn't Amazon going to be the only dominant player? Is there a way for I know Microsoft is competing with Akamai. Is there room for a third giant? And if so, what would it take?
Yeah, so it's anybody's guess what it takes to build the next public cloud technology. But the estimates range around $5 billion. And if you look at the market leaders right now, Amazon certainly is a consumer cloud, but is also an enterprise cloud, is also going after service providers. And there are others like Google, Microsoft with its Azure cloud offering, and there are several other new entrants. So certainly, I think this space is going to continue to evolve, and it's anybody's guess who's going to win.
I know there's also some talk about hybrid cloud, where you're doing some stuff that is some computing in the cloud and the rest actually on site. Is that something that we're going to see the trend continue, or do you see things shifting entirely to cloud?
That's actually a very good question, and I think it's going to be part of the panel discussion as well. If you look at where people are doing processing, it's always been on-premise. 1.7 trillion of IT spending is in on-premise. So it's probably too ambitious to think everything is going to be automatically shifting to public cloud overnight. I think it's going to be a hybrid model for a long, long time to come.
Now, clouds are traditionally updated centrally, and when you're dealing with very fast-paced data gathering and data analytics that needs constant updating, how do you make sure that in a hybrid cloud situation, how do you make sure that you are actually doing updates locally as well as in the cloud at the speed the data requires?
That's another fantastic question, because if you look at this global synchronization challenge, it's actually a very big challenge today, and you have to then decide where to do the right processing. If real time is important, a lot of time people still go to the private cloud and then they move their data to public cloud. So can you build globally consistent cloud processing systems to allow people to do this is the next challenge.
Let's just wrap this up real quick and give us a sense of what you would think that your takeaway would be, hopefully, from this conference and from this panel. What are you hoping to learn?
So I think Tiecon is a great, vibrant conference. I'm happy to be part of a panel here and humbled. And I think the vibe is really strong. You can see the energy, you can see the feeling that everybody has around all these technologies. Every few years people say, well, maybe Silicon Valley is done, but if you come here, you will think we have another 100 years to go.
Fantastic. That was Anoop Dawar, my brother, and also the speaker for Tiecon 2016. Thank you.